2 Corinthians 9 and 6. But this I say, he which soweth sparingly shall reap also sparingly, and he which soweth bountifully shall reap also bountifully. All right. Call Haloyim Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Kakadash, double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, which are the men that rule well and taught us his truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations, as always, be unto the elect of the nation of Israel. All right, the true Israelites are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Seminole Indians. All right, and those of you that don't have the typical look of an Israelite, all right, but you believe in the 100% truth of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Kakadash, this is also for you. All right, and Lord willing, the title will be, you get what you put out. That's why I started off with 2 Corinthians 9 and 6. All right, because, more specifically, Apostle Paul was referring to, well, he was also talking about giving in this chapter. And so, like, these specific verses, I believe. I didn't read the whole chapter. I did read, a few verses from this chapter. And this precept pretty much inspired the lesson, man. And, it was a very true statement that Apostle Paul said, man. If you, sow sparingly or like very few or very little, that's what you get. But if you sow a lot, you do a lot, you get back a lot. All right. And you get what you put out, basically, man. So, put forth everything that you have, give it to the Lord in the sense that, the energy, your time, obviously, we can't give the Lord 24/7 in the sense that we're just constantly studying, reading, praying, fasting, and always, going live and stuff like that 24/7. We can't, because we do have to, still go to work, maintain our relationships in our lives, and, things like that, man. So, but the point is, put forth your strength, man. Give the Lord, give this truth, the truth of Yahweh Bashim Yashai, the time that it needs, man. All right, give it some energy. Okay, that goes to me first, because I'm teaching it. Okay, Sirach 38:24. The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure, and he that hath little business shall become wise. Right. So essentially, make time. And I'm going to read this in a different translation, but I just want to read them real quick in the KJV. So it says, how can he get wisdom that holdeth the plow, and that glorieth in the good, that driveth oxen, and is occupied in their labors, and whose talk is of bullocks? He giveth his mind to make furrows, and is diligent to give the kine fodder. Now let's get that in the GNT, because it's a little harder. It's a little harder to understand in the KJV. We didn't grow up learning King's English. We grew up speaking this new speak. So let's get the Good News translation. And it reads, same thing, Sirach 38:24-26. Scholars, which we're scholars, Apostle Gabar, uses that word sometimes. We have to be scholarly. We have to be scholars. All right? We have to be studied. We have to carry ourselves with class. Believe it or not, Cambridge and these notable, colleges and stuff like that were started by us, man, by the Israelites. Being scholarly is part of our culture. Not every single one of us was a scholar, obviously, but, that of being a studied and learned man, that is of our culture. We're not just some, idiots. We're not, what we're portrayed to be, some uneducated fools. No, especially not in this truth, man. We're scholars. Regardless of how you speak, brothers, we're scholars. All right, that's why we make time to, let me read it. Scholars must have time to study. If they are going to be wise, they must be relieved of other responsibilities, meaning you have to make time. All right? Make time for the Lord. You get out what you've put in. All right? The more you study, the more knowledgeable you'll be at camp. Okay? The more you read, the more you'll know. The more stories you read, you have that in your back pocket for whenever it's necessary, whether in your daily life or for camp. Right? How can a farm hand gain knowledge when his only ambition is to drive the oxen and make them work, when all he knows to talk about is livestock? He takes great pains to plow a straight furrow and will work far into the night to feed the animals. Right? That's likening it unto farm work, right? How can a farmhand gain knowledge when his only ambition is to drive the oxen and make them work? Meaning, if you're going to be a scholar, right? How are you gonna gain more knowledge if all you're doing is just that, working to make a living? All you're doing is work when you don't put work into study, you know? Now, ain't nothing wrong with working. I ain't saying don't go work some OT now. I ain't saying go work some overtime, but make sure that you make the opportunity of leisure, all right? Make yourself unbusy to give time to the Lord. And I know myself, I'm in that position right now where I'm, cutting out certain things, not working certain hours so that I can make time to come home, all right, do what I got to do, and then study, read. Even just reading 15 extra minutes or 15 minutes, Don't fall into the bad habit of only reading at camp when you're called to read for the speaker. Don't make it a habit. I know for me, in your daily life, if depending on your situation of work, sometimes you're in situations where you can't go and have time to read to yourself at work. Some brothers can do it on their lunch break, some brothers can't. And if you can't do it on your lunch break, you end up making it a habit, that could carry on into your daily life. But no, you have to break those things. Ecclesiastes 9:10, I always read this. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do with all thy might, for there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest, right? So everything that you are supposed to do, give it your all. More specifically talking about this truth. All right? More specifically talking about studying, reading, praying, fasting, doing what you got to do for the Lord. All right, give it all your strength, man. Obviously, we can't do it 24/7. All right, but when it's time to do it, give it your all. Okay? Let me see. Yep. Psalm 126:5. Just wanted to make sure. This is what I wanted to get, yeah. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. Right? Which, more specifically, that's something that we're going to... Sowing in tears, meaning the things that we go through is what's going to... not justify, but the things that we go through, the things that we're appointed to go through is what we're going to... is what eventually is going to turn to our joy. Because we put in that blood, sweat, and tears, so to speak, how they say that in the world. We literally put in blood, sweat, and tears. And we're going to reap in joy, right? Meaning the kingdom. We're going to get the kingdom. So pushing hard as well is part of receiving the kingdom. Okay? Because if you sow in tears, meaning, you go through the straight gate, you're going to reap the kingdom of heaven. Okay? So give it your all. And last but not least, Sirach 51:29, let your soul rejoice in his mercy and be not ashamed of his praise. Part of praising Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua, going to camp, reading, studying. Work your work betimes, and in his time he will give you your reward. Yeah, get up early for this if you have to. Literally. All right? And metaphorically. But nonetheless, get up and do it. Give it more energy. All right? And in his time he will give you your reward, right? You do what you're supposed to do, the Lord will give you a reward, man. Believe that. All right. So that's all I wanted to bring out. You get what you put out. So put in more energy to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai and doing his work. Okay. With that, I want to give all praise to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai B'Shem Kakadash. I hope this was exhorting and edifying. All right. All praise to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Double honors to my elders and apostles, a great millstone. To the men that rule well, the men who taught us his truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations as always be unto the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.